Welcome to Midlife Tax Write-Off. I am Jarrett. This is Pridgy next to me or on top of me, depending on what position we're in. And we're going to be talking about overrated and underrated bands and just general shit. What we think is overrated and what we think is underrated.
Very
Pridgy, what do you got
excited
for
for
us?
this particular portion. I think this is going to also give us a bit of insight, further insight into each other that we maybe didn't already know after all these years as well, which is really good. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have a bit of a debate on this as well. I think, my opinions are my opinions. I don't force them on other people. I do put them out there for the world to hear, but I'm not overly fussed if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. It's not really my thing to be like, oh, I don't like you anymore because we don't agree. But, it is what it is.
That's the beauty of a free society. We can have our own opinions, and an opinion is just—it's a thing. It's you can't have a wrong opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like you can an opinion cannot be wrong. It can't be right, but it cannot be wrong either because it's just an opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And what I think that people tend to do is they have opinion-based facts rather than
Yeah,
fact-based opinions, which means that your fact is based on your opinion of the way that the world should work or the way something should work, but it's not based in pure fact of the way that things actually are.
correct.
So, sometimes it warps reality and it breaks social norms and breaks reality, and sometimes that just isn't meant to be. Not talking about anything in particular, not calling anything out, but that's just my observation that people need to have more fact-based opinions rather than opinion-based facts.
Agreed. Correct.
But that's enough preachy shit. Let's get into it. Well, my thing is, I think Tupac is an overrated rapper. And I think
Tupac.
that he is a better actor than he actually is a rapper. And I think his catalog of movies is exceptional. Like, he has got an exceptional catalog of movies. Have you seen a Tupac movie before?
Yeah. He's got a couple. There's one I can't remember. It was
With Jim
I'm not even
Belushi?
going to pretend like I can remember the name of it. But there's one where I reckon it was like mid. Or depend. When did he die?
I think he
When was he
died
killed?
early noughties, maybe?
Yeah, so I reckon it would be like a early to mid '90s movie.
Yeah.
Again, not overly across the names and the details of it, but there was
Mm,
one I, you sort of like enjoyed watching it because he was in it.
yeah.
Um, but
But he's a brilliant actor. Like, he had such range. He was so good at acting, but just his hip hop, his rapping is just not. He raps over the music rather than to the music, which I was told the other day, which is like an East Coast West Coast thing. Him being from West Coast, um, it means that they rap over the music, whereas East Coast raps to the music. Like, so Biggie was
interesting.
East Coast, and he would rap more to the beat. So my other thing is that if Biggie was in Tupac's body, he
Yep.
would have been way, way bigger than he was because he was such a better rapper than Tupac. I think he was it's two different, like almost two different genres. Like, Biggie is just so much better than Tupac.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Like, I don't know. I reckon I probably have to go more with Tupac on this one. I reckon, man.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. And that's probably just based on the fact that I'm maybe a bit more familiar with Tupac's work than
Yeah.
Biggie. But I found myself literally the other night on the way home from work listening to I chucked on some Snoop Dogg just to play Snoop Dogg on Spotify on the way home, and because I drive for a long for at least 40 minutes on eat both ways to and from
Yeah.
work. And it came on, I think it's Gangster Party, I think is
Yeah.
what it's called. And it was
That
just
sounds
such a, like,
dope.
his flow in that track was really good. It was on point. I think the thing a lot of people, or I tend to forget as well about Tupac, is that he was more than he was like a whole package,
Yeah.
not just a rapper.
Yep.
Where he obviously had his views on his world views that he rapped about quite a lot, but
Yep.
there's something like 170 hours of unreleased, just him riffing in the studio that never became a track at all. He would go in there for, from what I've heard, 3 to 4 days in a row without sleep and just record.
Well, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, like he was just another animal. But it's it's one of those things, isn't it? He's just, it's the beauty of living in a free world. I've got
Yeah,
my opinion on
absolutely.
Tupac and you've got yours, and I think that's the way it should be, mate. I think we should all be able to live in that realm of
Absolutely.
free thinking.
And me thinking Tupac is a better rapper than he is a better actor than he is a rapper. That's my opinion. Like, and I just really admire him as an actor. Juice is like, if you haven't seen Juice, it is unfucking believable. And Poetic Justice with him and Janet
That's the
Jackson.
one I was thinking of, I reckon. Poetic Justice.
So good. Like, it is just
good movie.
It's just the range. If he had lived longer, he would be up there with the greatest actors ever, because he was so new to it and he was just developing in acting.
How
He
old
would
was he
be
when he
up there with
passed?
not very. I think he might have been one of the 20, near one of the 27, 28, somewhere around there.
Yeah, he wouldn't
I
be
don't
very
think he was
old.
the 27 club, because that is, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Kurt Cobain.
Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, Amy Winehouse joined that group as well.
Yep.
I don't know if Jeff Buckley was in there as well, but
I'm not sure about Jay
yeah.
Buckley.
Talk about, underrated. Jeff Buckley's underrated. They're all underrated. All that 27 crew, they're almost all underrated.
Do you know Jeff Buckley's not one, like, I probably don't have an opinion either way. Because the only thing, I'm not educated enough in his music, apart from the obvious one, Hallelujah.
Yeah.
But I just haven't listened to it enough. But that song always does get the goosebumps flowing, I guess. But
yeah,
he's so loved, isn't he, worldwide? Just everyone seems to love him.
Yeah, 100%. He seemed like he had some weird political views, in my opinion, because I saw some little clips of him and he was talking about some stuff, and it was an odd cat, but he was like unbelievable. His voice. I say to my kids all the time, I'm like, in heaven, you're going to be welcomed by Jeff Buckley, David Bowie, Queen. All those guys are going to be waiting, and they're going to be singing. George Michael, they're all going to be singing at the pearly gates when you walk in, because they've just got voices of angels. Like, they're just amazing.
Oh, so good. Timeless music. Music.
They're not overrated.
No, definitely not overrated. Some probably maybe not underrated. But do you know what was surprising to me is so many people, like, and it's obviously just a generation thing, and before people's time, but so many people that I would expect to know who Kurt Cobain is and who Chris Cornell is and various massive artists from our generation, aren't, the people that don't know who they are, and they're not that far, separated in age from that era. It's just strange, isn't it? Like, I guess it just goes to, you sort of live in your own world and you just assume that everyone else knows what knows and likes what you like. It's isn't it?
But we weren't abnormal listeners of music. Like, we would pretty much listen to everything. Like, we listened to grunge, hip hop, metal music. We listened to a bit of everything. So I think we're maybe a little bit more educated in music than we think we are, but not too much more than the normal person. But then I remember going to high school and then talking to some chick about, what music do you listen to? And she says, no, I don't really listen to music. And I'm like, you don't listen to music? What do your parents do on the weekend? Like, when they're cleaning the house and shit? Like, don't they just put music on around the house? Like, we always had music blaring, like, all the time.
Yeah. I actually scared our. We've got a little puppy. He's probably like 7 months old, and I think I scared him the other day. I put on some. I was doing some work. Yeah, I was just doing some cleaning inside, and I had some Mudvayne playing,
Yeah,
and I tend to really like this is my own little arena at my house in my kitchen when no one's around. I still do that like a 15
yep.
year old. And I looked over into the doorway between the like two parts of the house, and Frank, our little puppy, was sort of standing there by the door, looking at me,
Aw.
and I'm like, "Come over here, mate. Come over here." And he's just sort of like backed away, and I'm like, "No, all right." So I went and turned the music off and picked him up, and I think the music scared him, and me like such an intense style of music, and me
Yeah,
singing it and screaming it probably freaked him out a little bit. Yeah, I
yeah.
felt super bad though.
Oh,
Like I
yeah.
really, yeah.
And coming into that subject, I don't think you should scare animals or children. Like, I think the worst thing you
Absolutely
can
not.
possibly do is scare animals and children because fearful people and fearful animals attack. And
They
that's the
do.
last thing you want to
Yep.
do. You don't like I've been attacked by a dog before. And it was a fucking tiny dog. This was maybe it's probably the size of a head of like a small like a large chihuahua. But like the body like a slightly bigger body like a body of like the size of like a staffy, like a thick body but like a small head.
Oh my
It was a
God.
fucking weird looking dog. And it was
The
like
image that I've
brindle.
got in my head now is super weird.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, bullet
don't I don't know if I'm getting the same thing, but it's very odd.
the shithead bit me on my leg because I was walking my mate's dog, and this random like stray dog came up to me, and I had my kids with me, and I'm like, they started sniffing, and I did the wrong thing, and I stepped between them, and because I was
Yeah.
walking a female dog, and this was a male dog, I stepped between them, and I went, go on, go, go, and it bit me on my leg, and then I like shooed it away, and then it came back and it bit me on my leg again. The kids were freaking out, so I had to send them like away. And like I was
Yeah.
just like looking at it, making sure it's not going to run after my kids. Otherwise, I was going to boot bash the thing. But like
Yeah.
it's just
Little dogs, they're just, I don't know, like, no disrespect to anyone who's listening that has a little dog. Like, I love all animals. Like, don't get me wrong. Please don't get
hundred
me wrong. I
percent.
love all animals. But little dogs tend to be the more annoying ones. They're the more, like, they have that little attitude, and little dogs bite and attack more frequently than big dogs. It's just
Yeah,
because they don't have the same impact and they're not as intimidating as a big dog that they, perhaps don't get the recognition as to the
and
level of
they're also
crazy.
scared all the time. That you might just imagine the world from a Chihuahua's point of view. You're 10
Mm,
centimeters tall, going up against someone that's 100, like say I'm 187 centimeters tall, so I'm what 18 and a half times as tall as that. Just imagine looking at something that's 18 and a half times taller than you and thinking you must just be shit scared of everything all the time.
yeah, it's a great point. It's a really good point.
Do you know
Even a
what I mean? Like,
short person in comparison to that dog would still be enormous.
yeah, absolutely. And like
Yeah.
if you step incorrectly around a chihuahua, you're going to break it. Like you're going to like proper kill the thing.
Well, I don't know if you experience the same level of, concern when you're walking and you know something is smaller than you around. Like, yeah, I almost trip myself over trying not to trip myself over because I'm looking around for things on the ground. If there's a
Yeah.
little dog around, or if there's a cat or maybe not a small child, I can probably identify that quite easily. But it's a tall person problem. It really
Yeah.
is.
There are, yeah. I call them fat people problems when I try and sit in a chair sometimes and like, the chair, you can feel the legs bowing out and you're like, ugh, this is not good.
Is this like a Homer Simpson moment where he was in, I think, going back to school or something, or maybe back to uni, and he sat down in the chair and went to get up, and he couldn't get out, so he just walked out with the whole desk and chair
Yes,
set up.
it's exactly the same shit. But
Looking
it's
forward to
also
those
like
days.
the world was just not made for fucking people that are like slightly bigger than normal. Like, the world's made for an average size human being.
Do
Like
you know
getting
what's
on just,
annoying?
yeah, what's that?
Just being big and massage chairs.
Oh yeah.
It's like you can get, but maybe my body is just disproportionately odd, but my legs are really long in comparison to like from my hip or my torso, from my hips up.
I have the
And
same thing.
yeah, and I go into the massage chair at the gym. There's a little like separate room where they've got the Pilates set up
Yeah.
and body scanner in those. And there's about 4 or 5 massage chairs. And no matter what position I sit in or stretch my legs out or whatever it might be, I never get the leg massage because it
No.
scans your body.
Yep.
And that's the part that I need massage because my
Yeah.
back is sore relating to that. Anyway, not to have a whinge, but it's, yeah, tall person problems, first world problems again, obviously. Can't fit in a massage chair well, but it's super annoying.
You should start doing yoga. Like seriously, we should just
Can you
even in
imagine?
front of the chuck on YouTube, put on some yoga and just do some follow along yoga. I
Well,
did it
Jen
for a
and I
while.
did talk about that about a week and a half ago or so because I think we mentioned it last episode where I'm trying to make my workout regimen or my exercise regimen to be more for my future self in terms of flexibility and just not it's not any longer about being ripped.
Yeah.
So that's probably something that we'll end up doing because I genuinely need it. My muscles and my leg muscles and hamstrings in particular are incredibly tight, and that we all know how that affects everything. So
Oh, there's so many awesome exercises and stretches and things that you can do, and like, yeah, there's some really good ones on YouTube. What's that top you're wearing? The Metallica top.
this is the Adelaide. So when Metallica toured last year, they came in December and toured Australia and New Zealand as part of their world tour leg. And at each city, there was a artist that they employed, whatever the right word is,
Yeah, yeah.
to draw a design for that city. And so
Huh.
this is the Adelaide version. It's a dragon sitting on top of something, just like a big tree or something like that.
Yeah, that's fucking
But
sick.
yeah, it's awesome. And the best, like the cool part of it is that what this design is also in a poster as a separate thing,
Mm.
but each capital city had a different poster, but they all link up to make one, they form one big picture. So you can find that online, I think, somewhere to see what the whole picture forms. But there's some of the, I think it was Victoria or WA or one of them has a crow that's landed on a bunch of skulls and just typical, like very heavy metal and
Yeah.
doom and gloom sort of thing. But yeah, it's such a cool shirt. And one of the coolest things is Ollie, who's my stepson. For those who haven't heard before, he's got the same shirt, and I think Jen might even have the same shirt. So we're all like matchy, but in a cool way. Like I feel like if you're all matching Metallica and you go out wearing the same thing, it's kind of like awesome, as opposed to like something that's not that. Do you know what I mean?
All right, let's get back to the subject. So overrated and underrated. Matchy, very, very overrated.
Super overrated, except for when it's a Metallica shirt. Very, very overrated.
Very over, especially when people are wearing the same onesies and all going out in the same onesies. I mean, that can
Oh,
look kind of cool, but like,
nah,
I don't like.
I'm yet to find that example, man.
You know, it's also kind of creepy. Couples that look alike,
Yes.
like they look like they could be brother and sister, and you're like, are they brother and sister? And then you see them start kissing, and you're like, I don't think brother and sisters kiss like that.
It
Unless you're
should
Angelina
be.
Jolie and her brother. And that was a bit weird.
Yeah, that was he the one that used to. Oh, sorry, she, or was it maybe it was Megan Fox who used to carry around the vial of blood? No, it was Angelina
Yeah,
Jolie, the vial of blood of Billy Bob Thornton.
yeah. Billy Bob Thornton's a fucking legend.
Oh, isn't he? He's so good.
Oh, have you seen Landman?
No, actually, when I say Billy Bob Thornton's awesome, I think I like his persona and what I know of him, but I haven't. No, if you tried to get me to run through his catalogue of movies, apart from Bad Santa and a couple of other ones, I wouldn't actually be able
I
to.
didn't like Bad Santa.
I didn't mind it.
Overrated. Nah, overrated.
Overrated, beautiful,
Like people were,
unexpected, overrated, underrated.
yeah, man. People were like going, oh, have you seen Bad Santa? It's so good, so good. And I watched it. And I'm like, are we watching the same fucking movie? I just
Okay,
didn't
fair.
like it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Did not like it at all. What do you think's underrated?
Underrated. Well, I don't know if he'd be underrated anymore, but Shane Gillis, stand-up comedian. I've spoken to a few people recently asking if they know him and what they think of him, and they haven't quite, a lot of them don't even really know what he's done.
Yeah.
Or they've seen shorts that have popped up on the YouTube, but not actually sat back and watched his specials. And
Have you seen Tyres?
I rate him real highly. I think he's just really good. He's very natural and engages easily with the audience, but he can also be controversial, but still funny. Like you sort of go, oh, but then you move on quickly. You don't sort of like. I don't think you can hold too much against him.
Yeah. Have you seen Tyres?
Pardon?
Have you seen Tyres, the TV show?
Yes, I love Tyres. Yeah, I love Tyres.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's when I say love, it's one of those ones that I could fall asleep watching. Like it's more of a comfort show, I think, for me.
Yeah. I think Gillis is very much part of what they call the Rogan sphere, where like he's good mates with Joe Rogan, and I think unless you're kind of into Joe Rogan, you might not really be into Shane Gillis, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas like
fair.
some of them have broken out of the Rogan sphere, like Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura are kind of like outside of that a little bit, but still inside. Like they started there.
Speaking of overrated and underrated, Tom Segura.
Yeah.
Absolutely overrated, in my opinion.
I like Tom Segura. I think he's really, really funny.
I can genuinely... Maybe I just picked up a bad special of his, but I was so bored. And like, I feel terrible for saying that because obviously he's very successful and maybe it's me. But I don't know. Not a fan.
You know what, though? I don't think specials are necessarily... It's really hard to make a good special. Like, like I was saying, like last week, and I got copped a lot of shit for it, is, black comedians aren't as funny as white comedians, yada, yada, yada. But, like, I think specials are hard. I think specials are really hard. And I think, with YouTube and with the interviews that's happening now and shorts and all these things, I think you've got more funny moments in a podcast than you do in a special. And if you were to put all those funny moments in a podcast into a special, like it'd be fucking hilarious. It'd be so much better than kind of just, okay, stand-up has its place. And there's some guys that are just unbelievable at it. Bill Burr is just like
Bill Burr,
one of the funniest fucking... Ali Wong, like those Ali Wong specials. I think her first one was just like one of the funniest fucking things. Like the missus and I were in bed. I think I almost had a fucking asthma attack. Yeah. And like, if you've ever seen Lenny Henry live, like Lenny Henry is a British comedian, is a Jamaican, I think, a Jamaican English British comedian.
Yeah. Was he like late 90s, early 2000s-ish sort of era?
Yeah. I almost had a fucking asthma attack watching him like in live. Like I was in the theater, like I had to almost leave. And I didn't want to leave because I was wheezing. I couldn't catch my breath because he was so funny. Like he was one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life.
You're like, that was an amazing show. Straight to the hospital.
Yeah.
Just to get a checkup.
Yeah, basically. But Jim Jeffries the other day when we went to see Jim Jeffries, that was funny as fuck.
I love Jim Jeffries. I think he's one of my all-time favorites. Just, I really respect... I love storyteller comedians, and that's obviously what he is. And where you can, like, he might only really have in an hour set, he might only have 3 to 4 jokes, if you want to call them jokes. Yeah. But they go for like 10, 15 minutes, but he wraps them up so well. Some of his earlier stuff, I think, was his better stuff. Yeah. But like the gun control piece that he used to do, I won't try to recall it, but if anyone who's watching this or listening to this hasn't watched any early Jim Jeffries, you're just missing out. Really, just go back and have a look at his earlier stuff. It's just so funny.
And it's just with his mom and his dad and his disabled friend and all that kind of stuff. It's
it takes his can't think of the disease or the disability that his friend had, but he took him to a brothel to
Yeah.
get him laid for the first time or last time before he passes or something along those lines. And what was you could look at as a very morbid story was just it was like a combination of like hilarious and awkward, but also really heartfelt from the place that it came from. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. He's really good. He's
And he
really,
was
really
talking
good.
about how his mum got angry at his dad for spending all the money, spending the pension money. She's like,
Mm.
he won't give me the money from my pension, blah, blah, blah. And he spends all his money on prostitutes. And he goes, I only go every second Wednesday. He didn't even deny it. He was just like, I only go every second Wednesday. Because it's like, and then he explains like, his mum is, old and not well and all this kind of stuff. And his dad's still, like relatively well. And that's why he
Yep.
still needs to get his nut off and all that kind of stuff. And, it's not my life to live, but I fucking wouldn't get away with that shit ever.
Well, let me throw one back your way. Let me just see if I can think of one off the top of my head, an overrated or underrated.
Yeah.
Let's go like outside of comedians. We've been talking about comedians for a little while. Let's go. I'm trying to think. Maybe you keep thinking of stuff while I think of another one. I've drawn a blank here at the moment, which is the last thing you want to be doing on an episode.
No, it'll just edit it out.
Yeah, that's the beauty of editing. What about, all right, we'll go back to comedians. We'll go back to comedians. What about Ricky Gervais? Overrated or underrated? What do you think about Ricky?
I think he is one of the unfunniest people on the planet. I just don't find him funny at all. Like, basically, almost everything he says is not funny to me.
Okay, that's interesting. I would have assumed you'd be a huge fan of him, so that's an interesting thing to find out now.
Can't get into it. I just can't get around his, like, I think he's really interesting. He's very smart. He's got lots of amazing things to say, but not many of them are funny. Like, and he's British, and I love British humor. Like, Absolutely Fabulous, The In-Betweeners, all those shows, Faulty Towers, and like, all those older shows as well. Like, I love all those shows, but Ricky Gervais is just like, nah, not interested in him at all.
I found out it's something interesting. You mentioned Faulty Towers, which is a classic. Like John Cleese, one of the all-time great comedians.
Oh, so funny.
I found out recently, for some reason in my head, I thought Faulty Towers ran for years.
Yeah.
It's something like 12 episodes in total.
Yeah. It's like there's like hardly any episodes at all.
I could not believe that when I heard that. And I had to go into fact check it, and it turns out it was true. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, because as a kid, you remember it being on TV like all the fucking time.
Yeah. It's like,
but they must have just been showing the same episode over and over.
Yeah, yeah. It was in that same era as Mr. Bean. Or maybe Mr. Bean came a bit later. But Mr. Bean, actually, underrated.
Oh, but I love Mr. Bean. The Mr.
Maybe that's an era thing too.
I fucking love Mr. Bean. I think that shit. Rowan Atkinson is fucking hilarious.
He was the Blackadder, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's Blackadder as well. Blackadder's funny as fuck as well.
Yeah. I remember the Mr. Bean episode where he sent himself all those Christmas cards so that he could put them up. He could just hang them from this piece of string that went all the way across his room, and he just hung the cards there. So good.
Oh,
so good.
Such a Mr. Bean thing to do. Because, like, in the end, everyone, well, I don't know if you know this, but they found out he's an alien. Like, and that's why he's so weird.
What?
Mr. Bean's an alien, and that's why he's so weird.
What do you mean he's an alien? When did that happen? When did we find that out?
I think it's like in one of the latest like episodes, or I don't know, in the cartoon or something. But he's like some type of alien or something.
There's a cartoon?
Yeah, there's a Mr. Bean cartoon.
I've been missing out all this time. This is news to me right now, and it's 2026.
Yeah, I'm plugged into the cartoons. But like, we were talking about sitcoms and stuff.
Yeah.
Who do you think the greatest sitcom dad is?
Homer.
Yeah,
It's
I think
classed as
it's
a sitcom, Simpsons, but all right, we'll take
he,
Homer out of it because of.
he keeps
And it's interesting.
choking Bart.
What do you find as great? How do you define greatest? Like, what are you looking
Well,
for?
look,
What qualities are you looking for?
Bill Cosby was a great TV dad and the greatest TV dad until he got found out and not found out until he started doing all the bad shit that he was doing, which is fucking horrific, by the way. But
Yeah.
um, you know, I think there's other great TV dads as well, and they were all fucking just absolute pieces of shit. Like Hey Dad, dude from Hey
Oh,
Dad, he's a
yeah.
massive piece of shit.
He's still in jail, I think, isn't he? I reckon. I don't think he's.
Probably.
Oh, I don't know. He was either he's serving a long sentence. He did some
The
really messed up shit.
Yeah, the dad from Seventh Heaven, he was a piece of shit as well.
The dad from the Brady Bunch as well. Was it the dad or was it? Well, I think who was the? Yeah, I think it
Did
was
the
the dad.
dad try and bang one of the daughters in Brady Bunch?
I think he did. I reckon. Yeah, I reckon he was hooking up with maybe Marsha.
Marsha.
Marsha, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Not 100% confident on that, but I
We need
reckon
a
one of the
Jamie.
cool. Hey,
We need a Jamie. We need a Joe Rogan. Check that out, Jamie.
I've been thinking that as well. I'd love a fact checker. That'd be so
Yeah,
good. Just
so
someone to
good.
shoot off to. Maybe we should just
Yeah,
open up a chat GPT section or something like that and just go.
yeah. Or just
But
put something in the comments. Correct us, please.
absolutely, always open. Like that's the other thing I was thinking. I want to point out to everyone who's listening, like where this is not to establish a baseline so that we can make mistakes and be incorrect. It's not for that purpose, but
Yeah,
we're literally just two blokes, and I often for myself recall stories that what I believe to be facts that are more than likely there's every chance they're going to be slightly incorrect from what the actual scenario is, but it's never intentional. I just want to put that out there real
it's
early
very
on.
much a midlife thing. I think it's very much a midlife.
It is. It
I
really is.
don't quite understand. I think I remember something from my childhood, and this may be a fact, but it's probably not. And I probably made it up at some point, or someone made up some bullshit, and I believed it. And the 80s were fucking weird, man. The 80s and 90s were a fucking weird time. People used
They
to
were.
lie to you because we had no internet back then, and that whole Richard Gere thing about him getting gerbils put up his ass, that was all bullshit.
Well, look, and the 90s was a long time ago now too. It's
Yeah,
for us. I'm sure people listening that are around our age. I'm 45. We're both 45.
we're both
And
45.
yeah, and I'm sure people who are around that sort of age demographic will understand that the 90s doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Nah, not at all.
But it was 30 odd years ago nearly. It's insane to think that, but
1990 was 36 years ago, and if you go back 36 years from 1990, that's 1954.
yeah, see? There you go. So it's unbelievable. It's one
It's
of those
fucking
scenarios
weird.
where it's time literally does fly. Yeah,
Yeah,
before we wrap this up, do you want to feel super old just for a sec? I can give you a stat
not
if you
particularly,
like.
but please go.
You remember the album Frog Stomp?
I was just thinking about Silverchair today. Yeah,
That's over 30 years old.
no. You know
Yep.
what? I was going to Sam's Disco when that first came out. There was a
Yep.
place down at Glenelg, Sam's Disco.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that the Bay? Yeah.
And that was just that came out Tomorrow came out.
Yeah.
And that song just blew up. And I was like, I don't like this. I don't like Silverchair. I reckon Silverchair is shit. And then as I got older, I'm like, fucking Silverchair are fucking sick. They're just so good.
And like, oddly enough, today I was having this conversation with one of a guy at work who's sort of only relatively new in joining us. Having a chat with him, and he was the last person I would expect to be into, like,
The
you know,
Silverchair band.
yeah, Silverchair or Rocket. Like, I think he's only 30 himself, but it's he came in because I was playing. I think I had on my phone when I'm working. I just, like, if I'm doing something which isn't involving, like, isn't, people aren't around. If
Yeah.
I'm just doing back end stuff, I'll just put my music on. But I was playing, I think it was A Perfect Circle, and he came in and said, started talking music basically. And then he's like, I've really just, like, one of my biggest influences, like, early Silverchair. And he started talking about Frog Stomp album, and I'm like,
That's
so,
awesome.
but
That's
he's
so
only
cool.
young. But that's like, we talked earlier on in this episode about the timeless music.
Yeah.
And, like, from that era, that's like, that type of music is just, it's going to live forever. Like, they were 15 years old when they wrote that album.
Yeah.
Like,
Crazy.
it's, to think of that, that's wild. That's like a
Yeah.
year older than, that's like 1 month older than Ollie,
Yeah.
and they're, like, writing world class music. It's insane. So yeah,
Yeah.
good on you, Silverchair.
Absolutely
Well
insane.
done.
But I think the best on-screen dad out of everyone is the dad from Modern Family, Phil Dunphy.
Oh yeah, great on screen dad.
Yeah. I think from all accounts, he's actually a really good person in real life.
He does seem like he would be.
Yeah. But
I
then,
reckon I reckon shooting back again. I tend to be. It's one of those nights I'm delving back into the past.
yeah.
But the dad who was depending on which character you're looking at, but Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
Like, he took in Will Smith's character
Yep.
and gave him a home and all that sort of stuff. So he has to be up there too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like a adopted father or like a surrogate father. Like,
Yeah,
unbelievable. That dude was so good. And
yeah,
like really set a really good example for all of his children to be like this type of man to, you know, in this situation, this is how you should react, and stood up for everyone and stood up for Will, even though he wasn't his kid. And I think he was actually, Uncle Phil was not the one that was related to Will. It was his auntie. So that was it wasn't his blood uncle. Yeah, yeah, it really touches a bit of a pulls up my heartstrings, because my grandpa did that for his nieces, because
really.
they were, yeah, because my my grandma's sister passed away when she was quite young, and she had a couple of young girls, and my grandpa and my grandma were quite well off in South Africa, so
Yeah.
they brought in the two girls and had them live with them for a long time, and that's why on their gravestone it has like all the children, and it includes the two girls as well, on the gravestone with the children.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, and like they were, they're like my dad's sisters, like, they're like all the, like, I call them cousins because they're closer in age to me than they are to my dad.
Yep.
They're in like their 50s, but my dad's in his 70s and I'm in my 40s, so
Yep.
we hang out more than my dad and his cousins, but they're my cousins, and their kids are the same age as my kids, so they all hang around together, and they're all cousins as well, even though they're like third cousins or something like that. So, just I think it's, yeah, Uncle Phil is really, like, just a very positive influence on and he pulls on the heartstrings.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. And this is one of my favorite things about doing this with you is, like, obviously we know each other, but I'm just finding out little things about you that I didn't know still. And it's been, it's now 2026. And I think that's just the best thing. I think that's like
Yeah.
one of the few things I'm taking out of this.
Yeah, and it's like, I think we're growing closer together, and even though we're so far apart, we're probably, what, 60, 70 kilometers away from each other or something like that, but we're getting, becoming better friends. We definitely didn't speak to each other this much previously.
No. Yeah, it's
You know,
weird, isn't
and
it? It's been great.
I like it. I'm digging
Yeah,
it,
me too,
man.
mate.
Like, I would like to do this with some other people as well. Like, not that
Yeah,
it's diluting it with you, but like if we could get some of our other friends to form a conversation and do this together and do this with us, I think that'd be pretty cool
absolutely.
too. But one day.
One day. No, for sure. Well,
Well,
we've gone a bit overtime today, as we tend to do.
as we tend.
We do tend to do that. So I'll just, want to thank again all the listeners and to like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and having a listen to our rantings. And, I think that this is, it's been very fun and very enjoyable for me to do. And certainly something a bit different on a Friday night. Normally I'm 17 beers deep at this stage and watching footy and just enjoying myself. But I think, I'm just, I'm really enjoying this. So hopefully we haven't bored you to tears. We're 41 minutes in, but thanks everyone for listening and good on you, big dog.
Thanks, mate. Thank you, everyone. See ya.